5 things I wish they would bring back in DA4. Can someone give me one logical reason why our PCs suddenly forgot the concept of chatting when out in the wild? In Origins, you were able to talk about the maker and the world with them while in the deep roads, and no one bat an eye about it. In DA2, we were dumbed down to only a comment or slight remark. But all of a sudden in Inquisition, the leader of a world power is somehow unable to speak until spoken to, like some bloke in high school. Give me back the ability to simply talk to my companions. Can't be that difficult to implement, can it? The absence of origin stories is something that's been bugging me since Dragon Age 2. But I cut that game some slack since they were pressed for time and also because they wanted to tell a more personal story of one character and their friends. However, in Inquisition, you were once again able to choose your own character, and while they all had something that could be classified as an origin story, it's nowhere near the quality of what we were presented with in Origins. I want origin stories back so much that I made an entire video on it, giving a total of 12 examples with a short intro each. Dark fantasy is what the Dragon Age series started out with, and what defined the series. You were thrown into a ruthless, gritty world and had pretty much fend for yourself and possibly your companions. Once again, in Dragon Age 2 they took away from what made the first stand out from others, leaving only trace amounts of the dark world we once found ourselves in. The same in Inquisition. The majority of the story is focused more on an epic, world-threatening struggle, rather than some disturbing findings in the dark reaches. There is hope for this point, however, as with the release of The Winter Nights, we were presented with Horror of Hormak, which takes a massive leap back to dark fantasy, with a vivid narrative of disturbing imagery thanks to the skillful writing of John Epler. The fight against an ancient elven god should require sacrifices on both sides, be it willing or unwilling, which leads directly to the next point. Give me a second Vermeer, or another Landsmeet. A choice that affects the remainder of the game. You might argue that you have all of that with the crisis scenes in Inquisition, where a companion might possibly leave you, but that was the case in all games. In Dragon Age 2 you were able to sell Fenris, a companion whom you had known for years at that point, back to his master, no matter your friendship or rivalry with him. Same with Isabella and the Arishok. In Origins you were able to straight up murder Liliana and Wynne, two major companions. The only meaningful choice in Inquisition is who to leave in the Fate, which for most people will be Stroud, a character that up until that point was given about as much backstory about why you should care about him as a ham sandwich. And even then it leads to the same outcome and doesn't affect your team or Inquisitor directly. The fate of the Chargers might also be one, but even then it only matters in a DLC later on. Before we finish, honorable mention goes out to the dog. Give me back my dog, BioWare. Please, you monsters. Character customizations are once again something that made the game great and then was cut away. Where in Origins you were able to play a dual-wielding warrior, in the other two games you were forced into one of two playstyles. Heck, you were even able to play a ranged warrior with a bow or crossbow. Rogues are forced to play with bows or daggers. No swords, no axes, no maces. Bows or daggers. Take it or leave it. Have the people of Thedas forgotten how to wield one-handed arms? Have warriors forgotten how to draw a bowstring? Why must the player wait for modders to bring back into the game what should already be in it in the first place? I love your work, BioWare, but rather than limiting players to certain pathways or playstyles, you should improve over time, not worsen. You people are taking your time with DA4, which is good. So use this time to make it the best you possibly can, and maybe, just maybe, take another look at what made your first entry into the series. A game that made me start doing videos about it.